Hi, and welcome to this, what's become a bit of a series on tools that are going to help you with emergency remote teaching. This one is one of my favorites. It's OneNote and Class Notebook. So, what on earth is OneNote and Class Notebook? Let's start with OneNote first of all. So, remember when you were in high school and you probably had one of those like Spirax 5 subject notebooks and it has like the dividers in it and then some pages inside? Or maybe you had an A4 lever arch file with dividers and note paper inside. Well, this is a digital version of that. OneNote is a notebook, an online notebook that's divided into sections, and then each section can have pages. And you can pretty much put anything you like on those pages digitally. So you can have text, pictures, screen clips, audio clips, video clips, drawings, quizzes. You can write on the page if you've got a stylus or with your finger or with your mouse as well. If you paste things in, it automatically creates a link. So if students are researching for a project and they need to put their bibliography in at the end, then it will record those links for them. It integrates with the learning tools like the Immersive Reader, which is something that deserves an entire video all on its own. Pretty cool. Take a play with it. It's stored on the cloud in OneDrive. So you can access it from anywhere, from home, from school. It can be in the desktop app. There's a browser. There's a phone app, a tablet app. And as teachers and students in the Department of Education, we can access it using our Office 365 account. So, what does it look like in real life? This is my personal notebook, and I've got all sorts of things from just my whole life. So, I've got a section for computer science teaching resources, a section for my Cert 3 in business resources, one for robotics, one for digital media and animation, one for this agile project that I'd really love to run. Some things about Internet of Things, all sorts of cool sections here. Within those sections, I've got pages. So here on this computer science teaching resources, I've got a page for algorithms, a page for data, a page about binary, one about digital citizenship. These are all sorts of things that I have to teach, and these are some of the things that I've collected over the time of teaching and throughout uni that help me to put things together. And sometimes when just explaining a concept just isn't seeming to work for a class, when it worked perfectly fine in the other class, I'll just come in here and I'll be like, oh, I remember, yeah, that was a really cool little resource. Maybe that will help. So it's just like having my little handwritten notebook by my side whenever I'm trawling the internet and preparing things. And so it's really helpful for students to get themselves into a habit of taking notes, to be a little bit organised and put it all together. It's got some really cool features like the ink to math function, where you can actually write with your pen an equation, and then it actually will convert it. So when you've got some of the maths functions that there's no real keyboard shortcut to be able to write some of these things, and it will do it for you. It's really cool. It's got an inbuilt ruler, and so I'm pretty sure that the maths department are already kind of across that, but still very handy. So that is OneNote. Let's just head back to my little thing here. If that's OneNote, what is Class Notebook? Well, this is really powerful as a teacher. So OneNote itself has that notebook that you could have, and students could have multiple notebooks and multiple sections in each notebook with lots of pages. But what you can do as a teacher is set them up with a notebook for the class. And there are 3 sub-notebooks in each class notebook. The first one is that a student has a notebook. It's private. It's just between you, the teacher, and the student. No one else can see. There is a way to enable parent access. I'm not sure whether we've allowed that at Corrine, but I know other schools do. So it might be between the student, the teacher, and their parent. But other students can't see what has been shared in that notebook. There's a content library, which is just like on Connect. You put resources in there and students can see them. They can copy them into their own notebook, but they cannot change anything. The other section is the collaboration space. So this is a place where you can have a page, and then if you're trying to get everyone to share ideas in the class, they can all put things into the collaboration space and everyone will see what everyone else has written. You can also have like sections, and you can lock them off so that only say each group, you've got a group project, and so 4 students or something are in each group, and they can't see what the other groups are doing. You can lock the collaboration space completely as well. So you might just want to have it only open while you're doing this activity and then shut it down. There's also the ability to have a teacher-only space, and I highly recommend this, so that's where you can prepare all your resources. They can't see it. If there's another teacher that you're team teaching with, then that all the resources can go there, but the students can't see it. So it's great when you're just still figuring how you're going to share it. We mentioned that there's a few extra things like a translate option. There's the ability to embed Microsoft Forms so that you can give polls and quizzes. But ultimately, let's take a look. So, if you go to Connect and go to your email and then go to the waffle, and so then you can click on OneNote, this would load up this page here with recent OneNotes. If you go to this section here, all your class notebooks will appear. I've selected for you my Year 9 web development from last semester. And I've got a collaboration space. I've got my content library there, which has, got sections. I didn't really use it a lot because we have Connect. So the content library is still pretty empty. But I do have my teacher only section where I've got the pages that I'm going to share with students in their notebooks. And then I distribute them. So if I now scroll down, you can see all of the students in my class had their own notebook. And let's take a look at what that looks like. So I set up that every student notebook will have 2 sections, one for classwork, which is where they can just keep notes and things like that, and then one for assessments. So I actually delivered, rather than having students create a Word document or anything like that and then submitting that into Connect, I just had them type directly in here, and then I was able to go in and see what they'd done. So it's really good if you're wanting to get an idea of their progress so that you can provide feedback before they give you something final. So if I go into my assessment one here and I click on the website analysis task, you can see that Jamie has filled this in. So for each section, he's put a little thing. And now if I wanted to give him some feedback, I can just type over here, this is looking good. Here are some suggestions on how to improve it. If I wanted to make that really make sure that he could see it, I could, make it in red or highlight it or something so that he definitely saw that it was there. What's really handy though is that if I come to the class notebook tab and click review student work, it's going to have a little think about it. I can then select the assessments section, and when it's thinking about it, it's, I choose that website analysis and then click next. And I can actually go through one student at a time and review their work. Review their document. one at a time. You can sort by first name and last name, first name. There's also this ability here to lock the page. So on the due date, you can lock it that they can't make any changes past that time, or once you've marked it, or any other factor that you might want to lock it so that you can prevent them from editing at this time. So I'm just able to go through and see the same piece of work for each student, which is really handy. It's a little bit going wrong at this time, but that's okay. So that is OneNote Class Notebook. If you've got any questions, I'm sure you can see the potential for this, especially when you're not working in the classroom. I am going to do another video on how you can actually set up your class notebooks and how to distribute information to a class notebook in another video. But feel free to have a play and let me know, as always, if there's anything else that I can help you with.